is time to decide who the final Sweet 16 team is going to be. The number 4 seed Alabama Crimson Tide looking for their 4th straight Sweet 16, getting set to take on number 5 Texas Tech here in Tampa. We've already seen a last-second win by Iowa here in Tampa. Let's see if we have the same outcome here in Game 2.
Well, we expect to see Texas Tech does not play at the same kind of pace that Alabama wants to play. Alabama's in the top 10. Texas Tech is actually much lower than that. But each team likes to get the ball up and down the court. They like to shoot the three. And each team relies really on their backcourt. So the question is, can you make the other team's front court guys beat you?
Well, Nathan Farrell is at center court. He's ready to go. Bamboye is going to jump center for Texas Tech. London Jemison will jump center for Alabama. A trip to Chicago, and the number 1 seed Michigan waiting is on the line, and Alabama controls the tip to start the game.
And both teams will play man-to-man defense. And this is the guy right here, LeBaron Philon, that you got to stop.
Right sole for 3, no good. Petty, the freshman, comes flying in for the rebound.
What a game he had the other night.
Very impressive freshman. He's got great hops. They feed inside for Watts. Watts fouled out with 9:40 to play in Game 1. Grant McCaslin said, I was okay with that, though. I wanted to be aggressive. Anderson for 3 with a scissor lift, no good. And the ball tipped out of bounds. And it'll be Alabama basketball. We mentioned that both teams are missing some drastic pieces. JT Toppin had knee surgery this past Tuesday, and Aiden Holloway is no longer with the team.
Well, Toppin's an All-American.
All-American. Philon, first shot, no good. Watts with the rebound. Lawan Watts brings it up the floor. Little crossover move, get some space in the paint. Traffic jam.
Now Petty's only 6'1", and Alabama is going to throw taller defenders at him.
Petty with the ball between his legs, step back 17-footer. It's good. The net barely moves.
Maybe you should think of a different strategy. Doesn't bother him at all.
And here's Philon trying to answer, no good. Jemison had the rebound. The ball is loose, squirts out, and it's picked up by Watts, who's fouled by Allen.
And what you saw right there is Texas Tech scored, but how quickly did Alabama get the ball down the court? They didn't score. They ended up turning it over and committing a foul. Squirt is exactly the right term, Tom. Sherrell just didn't pick it up. I mean, he's trying to keep it from going out of bounds. You got to pick that ball up.
Watts open for 3. Not necessarily his game, but he does make them. And we've got a tie-up, and the jump ball favors Texas Tech.
Now, Texas Tech has 5 players with 20 or more threes. They've got 3 players with 60 or more. They got 2 with 100, more than 100. And Watts happens to be one of those 5, although he missed that one.
Petty from the baseline inside the arc, no good. Rebound by Bamboye, picked up. The loose ball by Alabama.
Got to get back.
Allen open for 3, no good. But Wrightsell is right there. He goes to the corner. Philon. Well, they give him some space. He leaves it for Sherrell, and he jams it home. He takes up a lot of space.
Nice patience inside by Philon, and when the guy's that close to the basket, you can't give him any space. The defender actually went away from him, allowed him to turn and find the open man.
Sherrell got that 2-point bucket. His 3-point shooting was important the other night. Watts again for 3 as a rebound by Philon.
I think if you're Nate Oates, you're fine with a 32% 3-point shooter firing it up there.
Allen to the wing, now the corner, extra pass 3, it's good. Splashed home from the corner by Jemison.
And that's what they do. They shoot threes. They lead the country in 3-point field goal attempts. They've had 27 games where they've made 10 or more threes.
And Watts has it blocked away by Sherrell. Boy, he kept his space, didn't he? Inside pass, Jemison has it blocked away. Bamboye. A little bit of a block party going on here for both teams.
I think somebody on offense for Texas Tech needs to take over besides Watts.
Anderson to Petty. Three-pointer for Atwell. It's good. The lefty, so smooth.
Well, I'm telling you, he's one of the best catch-and-shoot guys you will ever see, and you simply cannot leave him alone. Shoots over 60% with uncontested three-point attempts.
Ball is partially deflected by Bamboye, but Allen's still strong enough to convert.
Alabama's looking to drive it all the way to the goal or shoot threes. They don't want to take those mid-range shots.
Two-point game. Anderson, looked like that may have been hit from the side, out of bounds. They're saying no, it wasn't hit. It'll be Alabama basketball.
Well, we've talked a lot about points and offense, but there's some pretty good defense we've seen here early. That block, and then Bamboye, what a great job to get back on defense and recover.
Bamboye's the transfer from VCU. Said he found a home at Texas Tech. Philon off the screen. Philon has it knocked away. And they force the turnover. Petty down to the baseline. Mosley with an easy lay-in. Boy, he's coming on ever since that injury. He had a foot injury. He didn't really practice until January. Transfer from Villanova.
Well, he had a great game, Mosley did, on Friday night.
Such a compliment off the bench. Allen for three. And Millette with the rebound. Three from the right wing. No good. Tipped out by Alabama. Millette for three downtown. Yes!
I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep firing them up there. And you simply, if you're going to give up offensive rebounds, they're not going to try to force it back up. They're kicking it out for the three.
10-7 the score. 5 minutes into the first half. Mosley's three off the mark. The pass up top, though, is corralled by Anderson. I think the game clock didn't move, I believe. But we've reached our first media timeout. 14:57 to play here in the first half. Millette off the bench. Connects. How about Division II coaches and the success that they're having on the Division I level? Arizona, the #1 seed. Petty launches the three, no good. Rebound, though, by Texas Tech. Petty's not afraid to shoot, folks. Sweeping, step back, elbow jumper, no good. Philon with the rebound. Philon launches the three. Yes, it is.
You have to identify every player from Alabama. You just can't let him run to the three-point line. Your normal tendency is to go back and defend the lane, but you can't do that against Alabama. Texas Tech's got to get the ball moving a little better.
Yeah, Alabama's 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Too much dribbling, you think?
Yes.
Mosley has it knocked away. Now the Crimson Tide with the steal. Philon. Little assessing as he goes up the floor. He averages 22. He had 21 in the second half in Alabama's win the other day. Wrightsell puts it on the deck, bounces, and is fouled by Mosley. Well, free throws. Let's go to AJ, though.
Tom, the depth and talent of this freshman class in this tournament is on full display tonight, with Bama's freshman Amari Allen being someone Nate Oates wants to get going early. Meanwhile, for Texas Tech, Jalen Petty showed out in his debut with a career-high 24 points. Grant McCaslin says he can be an X factor in this tournament, guys.
It's interesting. Grant McCaslin said that Jalen Petty has become one of the better communicators on the team. He said now there are times where he doesn't really know what he's communicating. He's getting his teammates engaged in what's happening. And Allen, well, Nate Oates said he is the key to everything that we are doing.
He gives them such flexibility. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can defend anybody on the court.
And Wrightsell converts the free throw. 7-point lead for Nate Oates. 7-0 run for Bama.
And Texas Tech's got to get the ball moving to get some of their three-point shooters open looks. Alabama doing a really nice job in the switching defense. And Texas Tech hasn't adjusted so far.
Ryan in for the first time for Texas Tech. Mosley bounce pass to Watts. Watts short. Sherrill with the rebound. Bowen, he's a dangerous threat from three. Missed that one. Ball tipped into Sherrill, and he cleans it up nicely.
And Texas Tech is really struggling on their defensive boards. And this Alabama team, you know, they're going to score enough points anyway. You don't need to give them extra opportunities. Yeah,
they have 4 offensive rebounds already. Watts with a shot fake into the paint over the top of Bowen.
Got to run back and you got to find Philon right away.
Yep. Philon
inside.
Yeah, he wants Bowen to maybe get a screen, but instead goes right to the rim, and Mosley fouls him. Second foul on Mosley.
Well, this is a situation. You can see Philon, he's got the ball in his hands, and he's just waiting for the proper opportunity to get by the bigger guy. I noticed that he has started the game tonight without his headband. He switched, maybe he'll switch to headband in a second.
Well, he's to the free throw line where he's 79%, missed the first one. The only thing that tastes better than making it to March Madness is making it to the next round. So enjoy an ice-cold Coca-Cola and keep cheering for your team. Philon, the sophomore from Mobile, Alabama. AP All-American third-team selection. And he rattles that one home.
Now, if you're going to beat Alabama, you got to figure out a way to disrupt what Philon is doing.
Anderson covered by Reitzel. Anderson trying to initiate it. There's a tie-up, and the possession goes to Alabama.
Well, I've been impressed here with Alabama's defense early in the game. You know, they're noted for their offense. They're number 354 in the country in scoring defense, but it's been their defense that really has Texas Tech flummoxed at the moment.
Yeah, yesterday Nate Oates at practice. How many times did he say, fellas, lock it in? Lock it in. It's not only because it's on everybody's shirt here. Bowen for three, and he good. He splashes it home. They're 4 of 9 now from beyond the arc. They have an 11-point lead.
Everybody's standing watching Petty dribble. That's not a good formula.
Yeah, kind of the same thing happened to Anderson. He'll let it fly way downtown. And it's no good. Ball's tipped. Philon up the floor. Philon for three again. And a foul on Noah Williamson. Alabama has come out not only playing hard offensively, but also playing hard defensively. They lead it by 11 for a chance to go to the Sweet 16. Alabama has 7 second chance points so far. They lead it 20-9. Moments ago, AJ was with Nate Oates.
Coach, you're on a 13-2 run, but you talked about your defense setting the tone early, being critical in this one. How do you assess the balance so far?
Yeah, I think Reitzel's been elite on Anderson. I mean, he's one of the best guards in the country. He's gotten him inside. He's been physical with them without fouling. So Reitzel sets the tone for us. I think Philon's been pretty good. We've been rebounding on the offensive end and getting some second chances too. So our effort's been good. We just can't turn the ball over.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yep.
Yeah, Nate told us yesterday that Texas Tech does a good job hunting mismatches. Well, I think Alabama's done a good job of snuffing out those mismatches.
Well, the other thing that they've done, Donovan Atwell only has 1 shot attempt for Texas Tech, and they've done a really good job, have the Crimson Tide keeping the ball away from him.
Anderson picks up the loose ball, little hesitation. Goes to Atwell. Atwell inside of Bamboye, couldn't hold on to it. Petty cleans it up, and he's fouled going up.
Well, one of the things Alabama's doing, they got Jemison matched up against Atwell. And in this situation, the ball squirts away, and Petty's just trying to make a play. Texas Tech really struggling on the offensive end.
Well, it'll send Petty to the free throw line. 77% for the year. And he converts. Shohei Ohtani and Japan's biggest MLB stars return home to play in front of their fans for the first time. Homecoming, the Tokyo Series premiere, March 27th on the CNN app.
You know, these teams are similar in certain respects, and one thing is their guards are their big scorers. You got to make the big guys beat you, and so far that's what Alabama's doing. The guy with the most shots out there for Texas Tech is Watts.
6 different Bama players have scored. 4 different have made threes. And Philon is fouled up top by Bamboye. That's his first.
Well, Alabama, you know, we're talking about Texas Tech. Alabama has 8 guys who've made 20 or more threes.
Wow. Philon to a cutting Reitzel. Reitzel for 3. It's good. And it's now 23-10.
And they hunt the threes.
They do.
You got to run them off the three-point line, make them take tough twos, but that's much easier said than done.
Reitzel was asked about switching basketballs as a traveling violation is called, because Alabama uses Nike basketballs, but in the NCAA tournament, that's different. He said it's like changing from your favorite cereal. But the screens are the same, and that got him free.
An open shot's an open shot.
Right. Heading toward the halfway point in this first half. Alabama up by 13. Shot clock at 12. Philon, step back three-pointer. It's good. He splashed it home. And a timeout called by Texas Tech. Alabama's built this to a 16-point lead.
Wow.
Philon is playing with an awful lot of confidence. He's helped his team to a 19-3 run with that step-back beauty. Our game summary, it's right now a 16-point lead for Alabama, 26-10. They're 6 of 12 from beyond the arc, and they've made 6 of their last 8 shots.
Well, and they've had 5 different guys make three-point baskets. And again, this is the team that leads the country in three-point field goal attempts. They're looking for that. They run to the three-point line. They're number 2 in three-point field goals made.
And on the other end, they're playing excellent defense on the guards of Texas Tech. Anderson, Watts brought Sherrill out away from the basket, then brings him in, and Reitzel with the rebound. Allen dives to the hoop. Allen off the glass, no good. Ball is kicked around. Millette tips it out to Bol Bowen. Millette for 3, no good. Boy, the offensive boards now for Alabama. Millette double team. Somebody's open. Wow, way downtown for Reitzel. And again, another.
They got it again.
7 offensive rebounds.
And every one of those, you know, they're not trying to force it back up there. They're trying to kick it out to get 3.
Right. So this is the run for Alabama, 5 for 11 from 3, outscoring Texas Tech 19-3.
See, a lot of guys rise up and try to shoot that one, but not Alabama. They're kicking it out beyond the three-point arc.
Shot clock is at 5, and Allen lost it. That was the 5th shot of this possession.
It's like a hockey game. What do they call it? Forechecking?
Yeah.
They can't get the ball out of the zone. But the other thing Alabama's looking to do is drive the ball to the basket and get to the free throw line. And Allen just very effective there. They're trying to play him for the three-point shot, and he goes right by.
74% for the free throw line. And the first of 2. No good. Zendaya, Jacob Elordi, and Sydney Sweeney are back for season 3 of HBO's Euphoria. The Emmy Award-winning series returns April 12th with all new episodes Sundays at 9 p.m. on HBO Max. And now the second shot. rattles that one in. 27-10. Philon takes a breather, and he's all smiles. They were kind of relaxed yesterday at shoot-around or at practice. Anderson off the screen. Anderson open for three. High arcing shot, rimmed out.
But it's one and done for Texas Tech, and that's what happens when you don't get ball movement and player movement.
Allen for three. That's too strong. Millette runs it down, though.
Boy, they're chasing down everything.
Bethea. And the ball out of bounds. It's touched last by Watts. Watch every men's game live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action.
And the Red Raiders, they're getting close to digging themselves a hole too big to climb out of.
Really big hole, yep. Bol Bowen, finally healthy and contributing for Alabama. Ball's knocked away by Anderson. Anderson steals it, goes to the basket, lays it in.
That's the way you get back in the game with your defense.
Anderson covering up Philon. The ball goes to the corner for Bol Bowen. Three for Millette, short. Saved by Sherrill. Millette's already there. Shot clock is at 3. They kick it out. Long range Philon three. No good, but the rebound again by Alabama. Bethea. And he can't get it, but he gets the rebound again. And he throws it to the Texas Tech bench.
Well, that's about the only way Texas Tech is going to get the ball on a rebound. I mean, it's got to be really, really frustrating for Grant McCaslin and the Red Raiders that they just simply cannot get a rebound. Now, you shoot those threes, they're long rebounds, but you still have to be able to chase them down.
Watts hedging. Leaves it for Petty for three. And again, a little too much on it, and a foul on the floor against Sherrill. 7:55 left to play here in the first half. The 4 seed in control up 15 and dominating the boards against Texas Tech. From downtown Tampa, we go to A.J. Ross, who moments ago talked to Grant McCaslin.
Coach, Bama crashing the boards hard already with 24 rebounds. What more do you need to see from your guys to limit some of those and step up defensively?
Well, some fight would be the place to start. We're not scrapping at all. I mean, we're not playing with any energy or fight. Better start competing on the glass so it'll get worse than this.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Wreck 'em.
Well, that youngster's first March Madness, and he saw a game winner by Iowa in game 1. His first March Madness, Dan Bonner, this is your 40th year of doing college basketball in the NCAA tournament.
Well, yes, it is, and I'm very privileged and blessed to be able to say that.
We'll see him in 40 years to see if he can hold up the same kind of shot. Watts for three, off the front of the rim. Jemison with the board.
And again, that's a win if Watts is shooting the three instead of Atwell or Petty.
Ball's out of bounds. Last touched, I believe, by Alabama. Nathan Farrell came in from the backside and set it.
And Texas Tech has to get better ball movement. One guy dribbling the ball around and then shooting it isn't going to work. Now, if the ball goes in the basket every time, that's fine. But you have to move the defense to, number one, to create better shots, and number two, to create offensive rebounding opportunities.
Anderson off the screen. He had Reitzel at his hip. Reitzel covers him up, and then Watts goes right to the basket and lays it in.
Now, you got to dig in. Grant McCaslin talked about fight, and this is where they have to show the fight, is on the defensive end of the court. They're playing a smaller lineup.
Allen with a nod. He wants a screen from Sherrill. Sherrill wide open down low. Count the bucket.
This is what we're talking about with ball movement. You can dribble, you can screen, but you've got to move the ball. You've got to move players. That's just a simple You know, in the old days, you'd call that a give and go. You know, it's a handoff. He sets the screen, gets the defender on his back, and then goes right to the goal. And there's no help coming from the other side. A little reluctant to help because you know the guy you're guarding is a three-point shooter.
This young man has really developed since last year. A former 5-star recruit, Sherrill. As Grant McCaslin is trying to figure out a formula to get back within reach, down by 16. Atwell check out. Under 7 to play. Anderson launches and converts.
Only 2 people moved on that possession, Anderson and Watts. And it's okay because the ball went in the basket.
Sherrill fell to the floor. A cutting Jemison with his back to the basket, no good. And Mosley with the board. There's that extra hedge up top. Jemison on Anderson.
Now he's 6'8" and he can stay in front of it.
Watts on the floor, going up, blocked away by Allen. Gets it back. Shot clock doesn't reset. It goes out of bounds. And it will remain Texas Tech ball.
This is a very scrappy, determined Alabama defensive team. Watts has that ball, but they're not giving up.
Yeah, and they're circling one player after another on the bench. Guys aren't spending a lot of time on the floor. At least some of them. As Bol Bowen comes in. Jemison out.
Well, so far, every button that Nate Oates has pushed over there has worked.
Very true. Watts underneath. He lost it. Mosley lost it as well. Alabama comes out with it. Reitzel. Philon open for 3 and a little too much mustard on it. And Watts has it stolen away. Reitzel to the basket. Bumps and converts. And a timeout called by Texas Tech. It's 32-17, 5:46 left to play in the first half.
And Alabama has played very well, and they've played very well on both ends of the court. I've been really impressed that their defense has taken Texas Tech out of whatever Texas Tech has been trying to do.
Texas Tech used that timeout. They're 2 for 12 from beyond the arc. They check Petty and Atwell back in the game. Atwell is in the corner. Petty going to the basket. Petty up against the big body, gets it off the glass. He does get up, doesn't he?
Well, he does. And he's fearless.
Williamson down low. The transfer from Bucknell lays it in.
The defense pushes out to guard the threes, and it creates opportunities inside. Now, Williamson, he really hadn't had a great year, but he can be a very valuable cog for Alabama in any NCAA tournament run.
Former Patriot League Player of the Year for Matt Langle. He just deflected that. Allen off the pass to the corner. Reitzel for 3. Yes, it's good.
You know, Allen going full speed, starts down the lane. The defense just naturally collapses, and that was Reitzel that time that runs to the corner.
What a find for Nate Oates with Reitzel. The transfer from Cal State Fullerton. Mosley bumps Mosley off the glass. Williamson with the board. Williamson kind of pushed him out on that. Philon, shot fake into the paint. Outside for Allen for 3. Deep one. Ball tipped around, and they'll get Bol Bowen with the foul.
It's really difficult. You get the ball inside and it gets slapped away, and as a result, you know, you give it up and here comes another 3. I mean, that's hard enough to guard those guys in the half court, but you give them transition opportunities and you got no hope.
Yeah, they're 7 for 21 from beyond the arc in this first half.
And 7 for 21 isn't, that's 33%. It's not like they're lighting it up. But Texas Tech simply can't get anything on this end.
Anderson down to the low post, kicks it out for Petty. Petty into the paint, running to the basket, partially blocked. Ball is loose. Williamson to the floor, along with Bamboye. 7 will be on the shot clock for Texas Tech. They'll maintain possession when we return to Tampa. Our tournament summary, well, in our first game of the night here, Florida got knocked off by Iowa. The number 9 seed beat the number 1 seed for the first time since 2018. How about Dylan Darling's only shot tonight for St. John's was the buzzer beater against Kansas. And congratulations to the Big Ten and Tony Petitti. 6 teams advanced to the Sweet 16. It's the most. And right now the SEC's trying to get a team to the Sweet 16, and offensive boards have been dominant for Alabama tonight.
Well, obviously there's been some long rebounds, but it's the Alabama guys who've been chasing them down. They have been a step quicker than Texas Tech all night long.
Texas Tech will inbound this basketball. They've reset the shot clock to 20. There was 7 on the shot clock when we went into the timeout. I guess they felt like there was
change of possession.
Yep. Bamboye trying to set the screen. Williamson cuts off Petty. Anderson, shot clock is at 5. He doesn't know it's at 2. And the bucket is good.
And that's a better job moving them around, moving the ball, moving players. They still can't get Atwell open, and he is such a weapon. He could really help them if they're going to come back.
Williamson in the corner.
You see, he thought about shooting the 3.
He did. It's always on their minds. He has it there. He'll take the 3. It's good. He rattled it home. I think they've been waiting for that for a while since his move from Bucknell.
Well, he made 1 yesterday. That made him 3 for 20. Or on Friday, that made him 3 for 27 on the season.
Bamboye
4 for 28.
And Williamson tips that one to Philon. This is a 19-point lead for Alabama. Philon for 3. Petty with the board. They are just not afraid to shoot the 3. Eight for 23 from beyond the arc is Alabama. And a lot of perimeter dribbling for Texas Tech. Atwell off his foot. It'll be Texas Tech ball. Coming up on AT&T at the half, get all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at half. DJ Carstensen was trying to decide whose foot that went off of.
I think it went off Millette's foot.
Yeah, it was. He was right.
But that's part of the problem, son, that Atwell has had. He just hasn't had any open opportunities. Remember, he's a catch-and-shoot guy.
Yes.
You want to get right up on him and make him dribble, and Millette's been all over.
Was it Nate Oates who told us that that Atwell is a 61% shooter when nobody's on him? Shot clock at 4. Corner, runner, foul. It's 0.6 of a second on the shot clock. Second one on Allen.
And that's another way you can crawl back into the game is you're aggressive and you get to the free throw line. They've only attempted 2 free throws so far.
Horner's first free throw is good. It looks kind of comfortable.
For the kid.
For the kid, yeah. Second shot coming for Horner. Again, this will make the final team slide into the Sweet 16, whoever wins this one. The winner of this one takes on Michigan, who won their game yesterday. That is already in the Sweet 16 and probably is already home in Ann Arbor. Philon Millette for 3 again. Yes, it is. 43-23. Yeah, the hard hat. It's going to be tough to find who to give the hard hat to today if you're Alabama. Anderson steps to the right. His 3 is out of bounds.
Well, Reitzel has been fantastic. Totally
awesome.
Has put Anderson off his game. And again, you get movement off the ball, couple of screens, and then some guy pops open, and that time is Millette for a three. This is a clinic.
Yeah, Bo Bowen gets his bearings.
Maybe don't put that in the clinic, but.
Sherrill around the rim and down. I think you can pull anybody off the bench and have them take a three.
Well, Sherrill and Bo Bowen and Williamson were 6 of 12 shooting threes on Friday night. Collectively, they're 28% on the year.
Well, they have doubled up Texas Tech, and they're still harassing them. Anderson leaves it down. Sherrill swats it away. Here's Millette. He'll launch again. Good! 7 for their last 9.
Well, and Grant McCaslin's just got to hope they get to halftime.
40 seconds left. The 4 seed is absolutely obliterating the 5 seed right now in the first half. Will they hold it?
I don't think they're going to hold it. I don't think they ever hold it.
Nope, they're not going to hold it. Phylon for 3, no good. And Sherrill is called for the foul.
But their defense, again, has really been good as they Texas Tech tries to drive into the lane, but even though they can get a pass off, the pass is swatted away.
Well, that foul is the 7th on Alabama. It's going to send Texas Tech to the free throw line. Quintok will get to the free throw line. He hasn't had many opportunities. He's 4 of 12. At the front end of the 1-and-1. It's no good. And a foul on the floor. I think they're going to get Jemison fouling Horner. And it will send Horner to the free throw line.
Well, Texas Tech needs a lot of points, and you get them any way you can.
Yeah, they need to somehow reassess at halftime. This is not what Grant McCaslin thought was going to happen. And Horner missed it, but Thea with the board. 18 seconds left. This is the first time I think that I've seen them walk. I mean, their engine has been revving all half long. 5 seconds. Ball's tipped. It's tipped again. Picked up by Horner. And Horner throws it up and count the bucket. 49-25. And we have reached halftime here in Tampa. Well, you said it. Get points any way you can.
Well, this is a really good play. It's one of the few times we've seen Texas Tech out-hustle Alabama. And this is, he looks up at the clock. He knows how much time he has. That's a tough shot, but Texas Tech needs it.
Well, AJ is standing by with Latrell Reitzel.
Latrell, 24-point lead. You had 8 guys contributing to that score. When you guys are spreading it around, how much does it open things for you?
It helps a lot. I mean, we always talk about next man up and just preparing the right way. We need everybody. Everybody needs to step up in some way, and everybody's doing that.
I mean, you're crashing the boards. You also forced 6 turnovers. You had 2 steals. How do you keep that energy going in the second half?
We just come out with energy and effort all the time. That's one of our core values, max effort. So coach preaches that, and we got to continue to instill that into us and do it every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Nate Oates said he wanted his team to lock in. They have certainly been locked in. Let's take a look at the Marriott Bonvoy first half stats. Alabama, 11 made three-pointers. They now have 428 made three-pointers on the season, which is a program record. Earlier, AJ got a chance to talk to Texas Tech's Christian Anderson.
Christian, obviously shots weren't falling as you all would have liked in that first half, and Coach McCaslin kept challenging you all to step up defensively. How do you turn it around here in a second?
We just got to go out and compete with maximum effort like it's our last game, and that's all we got to do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
It's a pretty succinct message, but it is very true.
Well, absolutely, and that's one thing that they didn't do. They really didn't compete very well in the first half, and you see the result.
Yeah, it's kind of a mind-boggling first half for Texas Tech, which will have the basketball as we begin the second half. Our final 20 minutes of regulation. And let's see what the Red Raiders have in store and whether Alabama can keep up what they have done in this game so far. Watts was a scoring threat early for the Red Raiders. He's open for three, takes it and cans it. Well, that's a nice start.
That's a very good way to start. Now you got to dig in defensively. Alabama wasn't uncomfortable on the offensive end at all in the first half.
Right, so yeah,
They got whatever they wanted.
They did. They go inside and now outside for Sherrill. Sherrill hands it to Allen. Allen. Boy, extra passes have been excellent. Wrightsell gets his feet set and misses. But an offensive board for the Crimson Tide. And a foul against Texas Tech. Second foul on Bamboye.
This is what you're talking about, Texas Tech. They get some movement, and you know he's only a 27% or 32% three-point shooter is Watts, but you got a wide open one. They've got very few of those kind of looks in the first half.
Philo on right side of the lane to a double team. Outsell for Wrightsell for three. It's good.
They drive into the lane, and if anybody gets in their way, they're not looking to take a tough two-point shot. They're finding somebody out on the perimeter.
Yeah, Wrightsell's up to 12 points. Petty, little head and shoulder fake. Anderson with Wrightsell right in him. He had a great first half. Wrightsell did against Anderson.
Anderson just had no room at all.
Whistle blows, foul is called. That'll go against Wrightsell.
Now, we've been talking about Wrightsell on the defensive end, but he's made a couple of threes in this game too. Philon draws the defense, and Petty gets way too far away from Wrightsell. And Grant McCaslin was up off the bench telling him you got to stay closer to the guys on the perimeter.
Anderson to Watts. Watts dives to the basket into a double team and a foul on the floor. That foul goes on Amari Allen. That's his third.
The interesting thing is Watts drives to the basket and his teammates stand there and watch him. And with Alabama, when somebody drives to the basket, guys are running around on the perimeter trying to get to open areas.
They get it to Petty off the inbounds quickly. Leaves it for Watts. Back to Petty. Open for three. Lifts and short. The rebound, though, by Atwell, and the putback is smooth. 52-30. Jemison for three. And Bamboye has it knocked out of bounds by Sherrill.
Texas Tech has scored a little bit more effectively here in the second half. Now they got to get it done on the defensive end. And interestingly enough, that's only the 16th two-point basket for Atwell this year. He's a three-point specialist.
Watts a little hesitation before he dives to the rim and lays it in.
It's a good thing they brought him.
Watts has 9. Sherrill has it blocked away by Watts. Here comes Petty. 1-on-2. Watts is there to help. They leave it for Anderson. He was surprised. Back to Watts. Off the glass. No good, but he's fouled. All right, a little life for Texas Tech.
Tom, but you described it perfectly. Anderson is running down the court. He's like their best player. He can't be surprised when somebody throws him the ball in the offensive end.
Yeah, they need some production from Anderson, particularly with JT topping out with the torn ACL. Watts' free throw is no good.
And that's an interesting point that you make. You have JT topping in there. This is a guy who can throw the ball to inside.
Yep. Well, it's time to start your engines because TNT Sports is back as your home for NASCAR this summer. Tune in beginning June 28th on TNT and stream on HBO Max.
Of course, everybody deals with injuries, but Toppin was the anchor inside, and you're struggling from the perimeter. You can throw the ball to him, and he could not only score, but he could create for others with the attention that he would draw inside, and you simply don't have that. Watts, Bamboye, they can't come close to duplicating what Toppin provided.
Yeah, he was averaging 22 points per game and nearly 11 rebounds per game. To the corner, Jemison, his three, splashes it home. Well, every time you get a little bit of a run, they do rely on that perimeter, and they are making it right now.
This is a situation where if you're guarding one of the Alabama guys, you have to keep the man in front of you, because once he penetrates by, the defense just naturally comes to help, and that's a disaster.
Atwell from way downtown, Reitzel with the tipped rebound.
That is only his third shot attempt of the game.
Yeah, and he was feeling it the other day. Reitzel lost that one out of bounds off the foot of Watts.
And this is typical Alabama basketball. Drive in, and they're petty. He steps into the lane, but he doesn't really go anywhere. He takes one step away from his man, and as a result, his guy gets open.
Bamboye checks out. Mosley checks in for Texas Tech. Bowen is in as well for the Crimson Tide. To the corner. Jemison shot fake. Bounce pass to Millette. Blocked away by Watts. Gets it back. Shot clock at 5. Bowen sets his feet. And Watts with the rebound. Atwell from the corner three. That actually banked off the side of the rim. Mosley with the rebound. Reverse layup is good.
Get out in transition. Try to get some easy baskets, particularly off offensive rebounds.
Phylon with a hesitation. Reitzel, shot fake three. Good. Count it.
They're just a different animal.
Right now they are. There's no doubt. They knocked off Hofstra 90-70 to get here. That game, they made 12 threes. They've made 14 threes already in this one. Watts is isolating himself. He lost it. And Millette to the floor. Jump ball, and the possession goes to Alabama.
But again, Watts is dribbling the ball, but nobody's moving.
Right. That was a lot of the problem in the first half. Also, the problem was the number of threes that Alabama was taking and making. Boy, DC is going to be rocking with the four teams that are going to be there. That is really impressive. Nebraska fans know that they're going to face Iowa, but that's in Chicago. They were here scouting the Iowa-Florida game, just in case Fred Hoiberg needs a little additional help. Here, it's 58-35. Alabama's on top. Alabama has 14 made threes. They have the record for threes, which is 25. That was last year. But look at the amount of assists on field goals for the Crimson Tide. They're moving without the basketball. Allen goes right in, lays it in, the freshman.
And they'll take layups. They won't take contested mid-range shots, but they'll take layups. They'll get fouled and go to the free throw line, but boy, they're really looking to line up around that three-point arc and fire away.
Yeah, they're up by 25 right now, under 15 to play in the second half.
But it's their defense against the Texas Tech guards that has really been impressive.
Mosley bouncing, Millette nearly stole it. Horner, spin move. That's a tough finish for Horner.
He had that tough shot at the end of the first half.
Allen switches places with Millette. Allen, part of the all-SEC freshman team. Kind of run into a freshman wall recently, but he looks pretty fluid tonight. Shot clock at 7. Phylon. He got a good shot off. Mosley with the rebound. Little empty possession.
There have been very few of those for Alabama.
Anderson, who's been held in check, goes down to Mosley, who dribbled it off the foot of Alabama. The only thing that tastes better than making it to March Madness is making it to the next round. So enjoy an ice-cold Coca-Cola and keep cheering for your team. 19 on the shot clock, 13:59.
And Alabama keeps shuttling guys in and out. And everybody who's played has made a contribution.
Anderson in the paint, down low to Watts. Tough shot. He'll be going to the free throw line.
That's when Anderson's got to shoot, I think. You throw it to Watts, and he's down there against a 6'11" guy.
Yeah, they get the foul on Reitzel.
You know, if you shoot that one and you miss it, Watts has inside position and get the offensive rebound. But you throw him the ball, you sort of throw it to him in trouble.
Well, here's the first one for Watts, who has double digits. He converts. Bleacher Report is your one-stop destination for March Madness. Get every moment all tournament long with personalized updates and highlights from your favorite teams. Download the Bleacher Report app today. Watts, the transfer from Eastern Washington and Washington State, converts both free throws. But they've had a tough time getting it under a 20-point deficit.
Yep. Well, Alabama continues to move the ball so effectively.
Reitzel fires the three, he's fouled. And he's going to get 3 free throws. Christian Anderson called for the foul.
When they're playing like this, Alabama I'm talking about, they really put pressure on you. You step one step away from your guy to help out, they kick it back to your guy and makes the 3. So now they throw it to your guy off a screen and you're trying to get there and you just hit him and now he's goes to his line for 3 shots.
Well, Reitzel converts the first one. He's the last remaining member of the 24 Final Four team. A torn Achilles last year. Watching him move around, it doesn't seem like that Achilles injury has affected him even a little bit. And he'll check out with a smile on Nate Oates' face. Bol Bowen will check in.
Well, they list him at 6'3", 190 pounds, but it is a very muscular 190 pounds, and he moves so well. And he's done a great job defensively against Christian Anderson tonight, all night long.
Anderson, a little hovering, corner, going right to the basket, and Horner's fouled. A couple of free throws coming for Horner. I think it's Williamson who will get the foul on for the Crimson Tide. That's his second. Horner, a sophomore from Dallas, Texas. He's getting many more minutes here than he did in game 1. He's at 9 points now.
I think Grant McCasland is just looking for somebody, some combination
kind of fire,
yeah, get some kind of a spark.
And now the second shot. And he makes it 22-point lead for Alabama.
Tom, and at this point, you're really just playing for pride. You do the best you can and you hope you can come back in the game, but Alabama continues to play very well offensively. They're hard to stop when they're making threes. Now they're a little bit of pressure trying to change the tempo.
Ball stolen away. And again, it's Horner. Horner hands it to Anderson. He thought about a 3, but Philon was right there. Back to Horner, slips it for Van Boye, and he converts. Again, it's a 20-point game.
They jumped him with that pressure.
Allen underneath to the corner. Williamson, he thought about it.
Most of the time after you score, you'd be able to set your defense, but not against these guys. They just run it up the court really quickly. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, now Watts is trying to convert. Bounce pass. Petty up top. Anderson way downtown, short. And Bethea. Oh, he just threw it up. No foul is called. He was trying to splice the defense.
He was looking for a foul.
Yeah. Anderson blocked away by Bol Bowen, who just took it right out of the air. Phylon high stepping. Had some empty possessions here. Anderson going right up, and he missed the dunk, but Petty's there to clean it up. Well, it's to 18.
What a dynamite job by Bethea to get back.
And a foul on the floor on Petty. Phylon wanted continuation. That might be a little extension of the rule. We'll take a timeout. Time for our game summary. It's Alabama 63, Texas Tech 45. 14 made three-pointers for Alabama. But what doesn't really show up is how good their defense has been during the course of this ball game. They have just been outstanding. They've been diving for loose balls. They've been getting offensive boards, and that's all part of what Nate Oates is hoping is the DNA of this team, AJ.
Absolutely, Dom. Nate Oates is a former math teacher, so he loves analytics, and he created a blue-collar scoring system, or hard hat system, keeping track of deflections, steals, blocks, rebounds, all the intangibles. Aiden Sherrill won it in the first round on Friday, but he immediately threw it to Taylor Bowen, sharing a little bit of the love, guys.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, they call it Bamalytics for Alabama, and AJ's right. He does love the analytic part of it. Here is Sherrill inside. Extra pass for Millette. Outside for Allen. Up top for Phylon. Millette for three. It's good. He splashed it home.
Everybody on the offensive end touched the ball that time.
Yep.
They touch the ball, they drive to the basket. When they do, the other guys run and get in position, and the ball just keeps moving.
And that's all part of not having the ball in your hand. And Millette, he wears number 95 because he said you only touch the basketball 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, you're doing the little things to kind of get open to touch the basketball.
Well, most guys would wear the number 5 in that case.
I would agree with that.
Millette, I mean, again, the ball just moves, and they're in great position, and all those guys, they're ready to let it go when they catch it.
Williamson's about to check back into the ball game for Sherrill, who's got 4 fouls. And Watts to the free throw line. First free throw is good. Watch whip around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break presented by the Home Depot and the March Madness Live app.
Well, how about, let's think about this now. We're talking about the game that Reitzel has had, and Millette has shot the ball very. LeBaron Phylon is shooting 2 for 11. He's got 7 points, but he's got 6 rebounds, and he's got 8 assists.
Yeah. And his defense has been really good, too.
Well, Reitzel has put the clamps on Anderson. Phylon has put the clamps on Petty.
Bowen into the paint, leaves it for Millette. Extra pass for Williamson. Thought about the 3. Goes to Millette for 3. Millette rattles it home. Ties his career high with 3-pointers now with 5. They have 16 made threes in this game. Petty trying to answer, cannot. I think we got an over the back, right? Yep. Oh, now a look from our AT&T connected cam.
And one of the things that Alabama has been tonight is connected. Look at this. Williamson passes up the 3, but Millette runs behind him and takes the handoff. I mean, they're moving, and every time they're looking for a 3. Now, of course, they don't always play this well, but when they play like this, you can really see what Nate Oates, what his philosophy is trying to accomplish, and in this particular game, what it's accomplishing.
Yeah, their shooting percentage tonight from 3 is about 10% higher than it is for the season. Bowen, well, that'll convert. I mean, they got it to under 20, but now it's 71-47.
That's only their 8th two-point basket.
Amazing. Out of bounds. Touched last by Alabama.
And Nate Oates, here's, I mean, Bowen drives the ball to the basket, and, you know, it scores 71-47, and Nate Oates is looking to see if they should challenge the last call. That seems mean.
Jemison will check it. It is a little mean.
But they're not going to challenge.
Well, the way that's going, they probably would have won the challenge because everything else has gone right for them.
It's gone right for them because I think their defensive efforts set the tone.
Shot clock under 10. Petty step back three. It's no good. Watts with the rebound. Blocked by Bol Bowen. Bamboye gets it. Ripped away by Millette.
Of course it's ripped away by Millette.
9:40 to play. Reitzel for three. And it's good. It doesn't matter what direction it goes onto the rim. It's going to go down.
You know, they're talking about that hard hat award. Millette, one of the things that they count is floor dives, and Millette is the team leader in floor dives.
Yes. Anderson cut off by Bol Bowen. Atwell for three. He's been quiet.
He just hasn't had any opportunities.
No. Look at Reitzel, determined up the floor. Hesitates after the three, lost it. And a jump ball, and the possession goes to Texas Tech. Boy, they are relentless tonight. Around the rim and down.
Well, the ball moves, and you get open shots, and it's, look at this. That's the way it's gone.
Well, I will say that, you know, he said that changing basketballs is like changing your favorite cereal. I think he's going to fall in love with this particular cereal.
Well, is it traumatic to change your favorite cereal?
Well, it depends on what kind of a rhythm you're in, Dan.
Well, there's no problem with rhythm here for Alabama tonight.
Sometimes when you have Frosted Flakes every single day and you switch to Captain Crunch, it is jarring. As we go under the 9-minute mark here in the second half. Anderson swings it inside for Mosley, who jams it home. That was a nice look.
It's one of the few times they've been able to successfully execute that screen and roll. Nobody's missing a shoe.
Boy, we had that happen a lot. It's Petty who lost his shoe now. The other day we had it happen 3 different times.
Hard to play defense with only one shoe.
Very slippery. Williamson's open for three. He'll take it and converts.
He has made all 3 of his three-point attempts in these last 2 tournament games.
Well, he's up to 8 points, and Philon's up to 10 assists. 7 points, 10 assists. 77-49. They are obliterating the school record for made threes in a season. Philon putting on a dribbling display. Extra pass to Reitzel. And Reitzel is fouled going up. Actually, they're going to say he's on the floor.
Well, he wasn't looking to shoot that. You drive it in there, he's looking to pass it.
7:47 to play in the second half. It doesn't matter who you look at on the bench. They're making threes, and the tide is rolling. Huh. 18 threes is pretty rewarding.
Well, it's pretty rewarding. 7 different guys have made a 3. They've just done a nice job finding open spots, moving the ball, and they've had pretty good rolls, literally.
Oh, yeah, they have. Well, if you're an Alabama fan, I know that what's on the horizon is #1 Michigan, but you know, if you can play like this.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is not a formula for victory for Texas Tech.
Alabama will inbound. Allen will inbound it. Good screen by Williamson. Another 3. Reitzel splashes it home from the corner. They are 19 of 38 from beyond the arc tonight. 6 away from matching the NCAA record, which they have last year, of 25 threes in a game. Corner, harassed, gets it up. Rebound by Allen.
Even this late in the game with this kind of lead, Reitzel is still playing outstanding defense.
And Philon, that's an offensive foul called on Williamson. What's the screen by the big guy?
I mean, it's on an inbounds play. You got to know they're trying to get a 3. But it's just great execution.
Most three-point field goals made in a single season. Alabama, we mentioned before, it's a school record this year. And they're still running. Jemison is fouled on the floor. I have to tell you, Noah Williamson is playing very well for the Crimson Tide.
Yes, he certainly has in these 2 games.
It's a young man who was the player of the year in the Patriot League for Bucknell last year. He was basically buried on the bench when Bediako was part of this Alabama team. But as he said the other day, he is in a better headspace now than what he was earlier this season. And they may need him against Michigan with the size of Michigan. And he gets the rebounds. And a steal by Atwell, and he's fouled by Reitzel. That'll be his 4th. As Millett will check in.
Alabama hadn't made many mistakes tonight. That was one of them. Now, those 24 points, they don't begin to tell you the contribution that Reitzel has made tonight.
Yeah, because he's been all over the guards tonight.
Well, Christian Anderson, and Christian Anderson is a guy who controls everything for Texas Tech. He's 2 for 11, 1 for 7 from 3. Hasn't been to the free throw line. Only has 3 assists and has a couple of turnovers.
Well, Atwell made the first free throw. There he is. Atwell, 6 points. Make it 7. 81-51. It's a 30-point margin right now for the Crimson Tide.
Well, Atwell, he's a 3-point shooter, and he's only made 1 3 tonight.
Yeah, this has been clamping defense by Alabama. Phylon out to Millett. Bounce pass to Phylon, got everybody off their feet, and he's fouled. So Phylon will go back to the free throw line. .6:28 to play here in the second half. AJ, we were at practice yesterday, and I don't think anybody anticipated this at all, but you're seeing an unselfishness from the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and I spoke with Houston Millett about that unselfishness. He said they got something from Alabama's head softball coach, Patrick Murphy, after they dropped their 4th loss in conference. It's a mantra, mudita, which means vicarious joy for others. So there's a lot of unselfishness on this team. They're sharing the ball, as we've seen tonight, and they just like to see everybody contributing to a win.
Well, they're certainly getting that tonight. And it's a great message, and it certainly has been passed along. Watts away from the basket. Shot clock is down to 10, and Watts is able to convert. He was steady as she goes on that one. 83-53. Good catch by Bull Bowen. That would have hit Nate Oates right in the head.
Maybe Nate would have caught it.
Yeah, and shot it.
He was open, yeah.
Phylon up top. Allen goes to the basket, lays it in with 5 on the shot clock. They're just doing no wrong. There's no wrong that Alabama's doing today.
No, everything that they want to do, they're accomplishing.
Atwell launches the 3. It's good.
Boy, he doesn't need much room.
I think the other thing, too, Allen was so mad at himself when he let that 3 go. He's shaking his head in the corner. 5:15 to play. Allen cutting back to the hoop again. Missed it. Ball is loose and out of bounds. It'll be Texas Tech basketball. 5:09 to play. Hard hats for everybody today. I mean, you can give everybody some points. Alabama Crimson Tide band's got a little hop in their step as well. That's because they're going to be heading to Chicago on the heels of Latrell Wrightsel's offense and defense tonight for Alabama.
Well, Wrightsell has knocked down 6 3-point baskets in 9 attempts. And again, that doesn't even begin to tell about his impact on this game, which was primarily defensively.
Yeah, he looks like he may be done for the day. Sherrell has a wrap on his knee. Looks like he's going to be done for the day. 24 points for Wrightsell.
Well, I don't know more what you want Wrightsell to do. You know, he's done enough to
play the tuba as Allen goes right to the rim and lays it in.
Well, with everything else he's done today, I'll bet you he could do that too.
Probably could. Under 5 minutes to play. It's 87-56. The largest margin of victory in a 4-5 game was 31 points back in 2018, Clemson versus Auburn. We're in that territory right now with still plenty of time left on the clock. Allen adds to it, and he's fouled by Watts.
Allen is one of the guys on this team who hasn't made a 3 today. And one of the reasons is he continues to attack the basket. When he has an opportunity to finish, he does. That time he's going to get a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. But most of the time he's driving it in there and kicking it back out.
Well, Watts will check out with 3 fouls. He has 16 points and 7 rebounds today for Texas Tech. And Allen to the line. And he converts the 3-point play. How do you carry this momentum into next week against Michigan if you're Alabama?
Well, I don't think it's possible to carry momentum into next week. You just continue to play hard. And I'll tell you what, if you make 19 threes against Michigan, you'll have pretty good momentum.
Yes, you will. Petty, a little hop, a little skip, and a foul. That'll stop the clock with 4:22 to play in the second half.
It's one of the few times tonight that Petty or Anderson or anybody else has been able to beat his man off the dribble. You know, that's a big part of the Texas Tech offense, whether it's off the dribble or coming off a screen. You force the defense to react, and then you kick it to an open 3-point shooter. But that just hadn't happened tonight.
Saw the bracket. Alabama will move on to Chicago to take on Michigan, the #1 seed. And Petty makes the first. Meanwhile, Texas Tech, their season, which has been somewhat of a roller coaster since JT Toppin went down. They kind of found themselves the other day in their opening round victory. But it's just so difficult to overcome the injury to Toppin because he was their bailout guy. He was their vocal leader. He was their most competitive guy. And arguably one of the best players in all of college basketball. Bowen attacks.
Well, it's hard to lose an All-American and not miss a beat.
Really hard. Allen off the glass, gets his own rebound. Another offensive board. Phylon for 3, no good. And the rebound by Henderson. Horner throws it up. Then Millette with the rebounds. He's been impressive off the bench. That's 8 rebounds.
Yeah, he sure has been. But that's, if you're Alabama, that's what you want. You know, make your opponent shoot tough 2s.
Bowen has it blocked. Mosley got a piece of it.
Bowen has that low, slow release.
Yeah.
He needs a little more room than that to get that one off.
Henderson, hook shot off the glass and out of bounds. It'll be Texas Tech basketball. Well, the emotion has been high and positive for the Crimson Tide. I think if you point to anybody, whether it be the folks in the stands, the folks on the floor, they've all contributed.
That is not a really lot of evidence of belief right there.
Well,
heads down.
He's still holding it though.
And he's making the sign.
He'd make Ted Lasso proud.
There you go.
3:07 to play. Texas Tech will inbound. Anderson. Atwell from the baseline. His floater, and he's fouled. Well, we mentioned this earlier. Alabama currently has a +32 scoring margin in this game. The largest in a 4 versus 5 game was 31 points in a win by Clemson over Auburn in 2018.
Well, this is something I don't think anybody saw coming. You know, but the Alabama defense clamped down on the Texas Tech perimeter game and forced the Texas Tech inside guys to beat them, and the Texas Tech inside guys without Toppin just aren't up to the task. That's not a criticism of them. That's just a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's just reality at this point. Atwell makes both free throws. And Grant McCaslin is going to the bench. Nolan Groves check it in. 90-60. That ball's cut off. Henderson. Petty off the screen. Horner to the basket. Tries the layup, no good. Groves with the rebound, and he's fouled on the floor. Well, with the win here, Alabama will move on to take on Michigan, the #1 seed in Chicago, on Friday. Tip time is 7:35 Eastern Time. Following that, Tennessee and Iowa State. That should be a good one.
Yeah, it should. And Iowa State, you know, big victory over Kentucky today without Joshua Jefferson.
Right. Ed Groves missed the free throw. Tough for some of these guys that, you know, are winding down their careers.
Well, Grant McCaslin was so complimentary of Donovan Atwell and all the work that he's done. He's a senior, transferred from UNC Greensboro. He's done everything that the folks at Texas Tech wanted him to do. He just wasn't able to get started, get going tonight.
Plus, if you ever watch him on the podium in any of these press conferences, he's so well spoken and such a leader of this team. Anderson with the rebound. We got 4 on 4. 2:10 left to play. Anderson going up, and he went down hard.
Well, Anderson's still trying to get it done, and that's something he hadn't been able to do, is beat his man out on the perimeter very often. That time he gets to the free throw line. And to tell you what a frustrating night it's been for Anderson, this is his first trip to the free throw line tonight.
Third team All-American, first team Big 12, and he converts the free throw. Jemison will check out. Jacob Martin checks in for Alabama. Bamboye coming in, and that'll be it for Anderson. Just a sophomore. And the sky is the limit for him.
Oh, what a great season he has had.
Unbelievable.
I'm sure he's disappointed for it to end this way, but that doesn't detract from the kind of year he's had.
Now, he'll go into next year on the doorstep of 1,000 points. Almost scored 1,000 in 2 years. Murphy cutting to the hoop. Murphy. Bethea. Shot clock at 7. Bethea off the screen. He'll take the 3. No good. And Petty high in the air. The wonderfully gifted freshman. Henderson asking for the screen from Bamboye. Bamboye for 3. And Horner with the save, and he throws it out of bounds.
Bemboye, that's only his second three-point
He's not a three-point specialist.
No, and he hadn't made any, so, you know, why not?
Why not? 1:22 to play.
So it'll be a different kind of challenge for Alabama against Michigan. You know, they did a great job shutting off the Texas Tech backcourt, but that front court is as big as Florida's. And the one time that Alabama played Florida this year was at Florida, but it did not go so well for the top.
Millette looking in. Three-pointer for Murphy, no good. And a rebound by Horner. They're trying to deny Henderson the basketball, but he brings it up. Horner back to Henderson. Henderson with the shot clock at 14, converts.
Boy, that is a tough shot. I was just thinking that Bethea is out there and not backing off defensively at all.
Yeah, they're not taking their foot off the gas. Alabama's not. 90-65. Murphy blocked away by Bemboye. Gets it back. Battle for the loose ball. It's a jump ball. The possession hour remains with Alabama. I think Murphy's really trying to get a bucket here.
I think everybody's trying to get a basket here.
He'll get it in. Bethea, he thought about it. Knocked out of bounds. It remains Alabama basketball. With 32.9 to play, I want to send a shout out to our great crew for their weekend here in Tampa. It was outstanding. Legal screen set by Alabama. Our two directors, Chris Svensson, Matt Plundo. Our producers, Kimani Morales and Deb Bulak. Everybody in the truck putting together all the numbers. Our camera operators. We've had a great weekend here. Henderson will let it go. It's no good. Ball is loose. Run down by Groves. Horner up top. Groves thought about it. Puts it on the deck. Groves kicks it back out. Horner for three. No good. Bemboye with the rebound. He lost it. And that'll do it. Alabama's just going to dribble it out. Alabama's going to its fourth consecutive Sweet 16. They win it by a final score of 90-65. And their reward is a matchup in Chicago against the #1 seed, Michigan. Our final score, it's Alabama 90, Texas Tech 65. We'll be back after these messages to wrap things up from Tampa. And standing by with A.J. Ross is LeBaron Wrightson.
Latrell, 24 points, but this was a team effort. You all shared the ball, 25 assists. What does that say about the talent and depth of this roster?
You know, we prepare for a game like this. We didn't shoot it well in the first round, and we know we put in a lot of work. We have a lot of hard-working guys, and we're not selfish team, and we pass the ball, and when we pass the ball and we make shots, it's a fun thing, and it's a fun environment to play in, and you see everybody's with good spirit and having fun, so yeah.
Now you're on to your fourth consecutive Sweet 16, but this team has been through a lot. You've made no excuses. You've shared in each other's joy, your Mudita mantra. How do you build confidence off of this game?
Yeah, we build a lot of confidence off just like chemistry and, like you said, Mudita, but we have a real big foundation in our faith with the Lord Jesus Christ. He's always with us. He protects us. He guides us through all of this. And, through his path and his leading with us, we're here right now today, and we're moving on to Sweet 16. So I'm just thankful and I'm blessed.
On deck, though, you're going to face Michigan. What can you carry over from this game into that one?
Just the same enthusiasm, the same hard work, the same passing the ball, Mudita, how we do, and then the unselfishness and just having fun and playing for each other and having vicarious joy and just our teammates' success. So, yeah.
Congratulations on an awesome win.
Thank you.